right, so I'm not sure what Catherine needed, but Lauren, as Catherine's not a board member, you can go ahead and lower her hand and disable her speaking.
Jason, I just want to make sure that we definitely are, taping it when we start.
Yeah, well, it's recording now. It's actually automatically recording.
Yeah, I hit something because I wanted to make sure, but I don't. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it says recording in my corner.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Now, Linda is in as an attendee as opposed to a panelist. That's why your camera isn't working, because you're listed as an attendee, Linda. So, Lauren, hover over.
Want me to her off, promote her to panelist?
Exactly. Yep.
Got it. Okay. You're promoted, Linda.
All right. So, so Lauren, you should, disable Catherine's ability to talk because she's not on the panel and she's not speaking right now. And then I'm not sure why S. Barron and Massa both have their hand up.
Okay.
And it looks like did we lose Jerry? He's not on any longer. I don't know where he went.
No.
Oh, no. Was he 5105? I think he was 5105, so he's back as an attendee again. So you need to promote him back to panelist.
5105, okay.
Yeah.
4.
Can you hear me now?
Promote.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Panelist?
Okay, I've
hear me?
been muted a few times here.
All right. And what's the number of the other panelist that was having trouble?
860
Yep.
906 8800.
All right. So Lauren, you can go ahead and promote that one to panelist as well.
Yeah, that would be Norris.
Yeah, I'm
right here.
And then I promote.
Can you guys hear me?
Panelist.
Yeah, we can hear ya.
Yeah.
All right,
we
I've
can
been on for the last 8 minutes. I was
My
just going to
goodness.
listen to the webinar.
Okay. And who's S. Barron? Is S. Barron on the board member?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Shauna. She's a board member.
Okay, excellent. So it looks like you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 board members.
That are joined so far.
Jason,
Hey,
Yeah.
Shauna.
I've been here for a long time. You
board
guys just
members,
didn't
John
let me in.
Galvin, I'll promote him. I'm going to promote him. A lot of talk. Promote the
Yeah.
panelist.
Hello.
Vicky, we're going to promote you too.
Yeah.
Promote to panelist. Okay.
All right, I see Shauna.
Video.
I've been here,
We have Jerry.
just waiting for you guys.
Yeah, now it picks me up.
I know, I just took you off video.
Yeah. We can mute Michael for now. He's not a
Okay,
panelist.
okay.
If someone's not on the board, they shouldn't be on the panelist. They should stay in the attendees list and just give them
Yeah.
the opportunity to speak when it's their time.
Okay, Linda, Shauna, John, Norris, can you hear me?
I can hear you,
I don't know
Jerry.
if Linda's on. Is Linda on yet?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Jay, thank you for putting this together, and Cobb holding us together here. So we appreciate it.
No problem.
Why don't we start and get going, because we may have a few bumps in the road technologically here, but we'll try to move forward as best we can. So I'm showing 2:06 Eastern on the 10th of June. We'll commence our meeting via technology, given what we've all been through, and I hope everyone who everyone, you and yours are healthy and doing well. And again, thank you for everything going forward. Also, before we get going too much here, thank you, Linda, very much for holding things together and getting the renewals done and all the things that go with it, given some crazy times and everything we're going through. And I know you're going to give us a report, but just a quick shout out. And that being said, why don't we get going right off the top? We're going to go a little out of order, but let's start right from the top with the agenda that was sent last week. Linda, you want to give us a quick on the ASC and continuing education audit?
Come on in.
Righty. One thing is that, I'm not sure why he's there. Before I do that, Lauren, Vicky says she's on mute
Okay.
and she's not, yeah, so we can add her, please.
It shows that she has the ability to speak. She just has to unmute herself.
Oh, okay. So anyways, the ASC, I talked to Jenny last week and they will be here a year from now. They should have been here at today's meeting, so they will be at next year's meeting is the plan. They're pushing everything back to the same time, but a year later. So that's all I have for the ASC. Regarding, I'm going to give you the combination of the renewal numbers and the CE audit all in one. So it was about the same as last year as far as renewals go. For the provisional appraisers, we sent out 62 renewal notices, 46 renewed. Right now we have a total of 50 provisional appraisers, and of the 46 that renewed, all of them sent in their CE. They had 100%. I'm not sure if it's all right yet, but it's supposed to be. For the certified residential, we sent out 705 notices, 660 renewed on time, and another 5 reinstated since then. So that was a 94% renewal rate. And right now, there's 53 of them that I have to go back and re-examine their CE. There's some issues with them, which is 8%. And some of them, their CE could actually be sitting on my desk. So I haven't been in the office in 3 weeks, so it could be there. And the certified generals, 553 renewal notices went out, 481 renewed, and another 22 have reinstated since the expiration, 91% renewed, and 31 of them have some CE issues, which is 6%. So that's a quick synopsis of all of that. So the only other thing with the CE is we have to figure out, some people did send in their renewal notices, and then they would call me 3 weeks later and say, I have my CE, but I can't upload it. I told them they had to wait to get an audit letter because I wasn't having them email it to me and take it because they didn't follow the instructions. So, you know, we have to decide what we want to do with them. Do we just let them send in their CE when they get the audit letter? Do you want anything, a fine? Do you want them to come into a meeting once we can go back, whenever that may be? You know, that's one thing we have to decide, and then we have to decide on the fines.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you, Linda. Any questions from members of the commission? Hearing no questions, any thoughts on what was presented? Is this something you want to wait until we get to meet in person, or would you like to put forth your opinion now to these folks who have sent in things late?
Well, I guess I will say that because we started something new this time by making them put their credits into the system, I would be all right if they just submitted it as long as they filed their application on time.
Okay. Any other thoughts on that? Shauna, a quick question. So yours would not include any fine Do I understand that correctly, or am I misrepresenting something?
No, that would be accurate as long as they filed, on time and they have the credits to match. That's
So long
fine.
as they did the credits, by April 30th.
Exactly. Right. They have to do them
Okay.
by the date, no doubt. The only thing
Because the
I'm,
renewal notices said you had to do them you had to do them prior to renewing, so.
I just want to make sure that nobody is getting fined because of the new system. I mean,
Okay.
just my thoughts.
Okay. Any other opinions or thoughts on this matter? Okay. Hearing none. Oh, I'm sorry. Did someone want to say something?
You know what, I'm looking and there's, John looks like he's muted. And I don't even see Linda here. And Vicky still says she's having trouble and she can't unmute.
I'm gonna put, Vicky, you're still an attendee. I'm gonna bring you over to a panelist.
That's why she can't unmute.
How about now?
And Johnny. Vic, try unmuting now.
John and Linda, are you out there? John and Linda, are you out there? Norris?
I'm right here.
Okay,
John,
so
you
I
here?
don't think we can hear. We don't hear
Hello?
John
He's unmuted.
or
Hi. Hello.
There's
Hello.
Vicky.
There's Vicky. Hi, Vicky.
Hi. How are you?
okay.
Can you
Linda
hear me?
Sesto, are you out there?
I see a message from Linda that she was having trouble. She was going to disconnect and come back in. I haven't seen her come back in yet.
Okay.
Okay, we'll wait.
How about
We'll wait
John?
a moment.
John who?
It says my internet connection is not stable.
Okay, you're good for right now, though. Don't
Okay.
move. John Galvin.
John is in. He's in as a panelist.
Okay.
Yeah.
John, can you hear us?
I hear these people.
John, are you muted?
He's not.
No, he's not, but he might have a microphone issue on his end.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't we come back to this topic while we're trying to address that, and while we can at least hear, and we'll keep working on the technological things behind the scenes. Vicky, since you're live and on we can hear you, do you want to go over the legal side of the appraisal regulations to be heard?
Oh, it's my understanding that Lauren has sent out a notice indicating that there would be a hearing, but we're not having anyone from DCP attend. But we just wanted to give notification that the proposed regs would be heard soon. I think it's in July, whatever the date was on the notice.
That's the Reg Review Committee, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm hoping Linda and John are on, and
I
Shauna
should
and
be
Norris.
back.
Any questions on this?
There's Linda.
There's Linda.
Can you hear me? I just went out and came back in again
Yes.
and it worked.
Yeah, Linda's all
Yes,
set,
we
and
can hear you
John is still having microphone problems, but he's able to chat, and he said, "I can hear you, and I'm not muted." I agree with Shauna. So, but
Okay. Thanks, Jay.
no
Okay.
problem.
All right. And let's start. Any questions for Vicky on legal? Anything else with legal? Let's try to take care of that category.
I will say that I am going to touch base with the commissioner to find out whether the raise that was requested for fines will be implemented or not. I know that the question had been raised prior to the COVID situation, but I'm not certain that we had gotten a response.
Okay. John, I know that you have a muted microphone, So if you could at least, any questions that you want to ask, we're going to go back to what Shauna was saying. I know you say agree. Any other questions, please run through Jay. And Jay, if you could tell us while we're discussing. Shauna has put a point on the table.
Why?
If there's, Shauna, would you like to make a motion of that?
I don't understand why you got.
Sure, I'll make that motion.
I clicked on it, but I don't even have the.
That as long as an applicant or a renewee files their application prior to April 30th and all their credit hours are prior to April 30th, that they should not be fined.
Yep.
Okay.
Nope.
Does anyone want to second that motion?
Don Galvin seconded it. It says it right on the screen.
Okay, well, I'm not on the screen, so.
Yeah.
The problem.
Okay, so John has a second. Okay, discussion. I'll wait a moment in case John needs to type something. Okay, hearing.
He says
Okay,
he's good.
okay, now, all right, is he good? Did he say anything?
He
He's
said,
good.
I'm good.
Said he is good.
Okay, that being said, then I will call this to a vote. Ayes, and I'll do a roll call because of how we're doing it. Shauna,
Aye.
Norris,
Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
John.
He says yes.
Okay, so we have a unanimous decision on how we'll handle that component. The second portion of that was when we heard Linda
Excuse me,
say
Jerry, can I just ask
about,
for Jerry, can I just ask for purposes of classification? Just for clarification, can you indicate that it was Linda Sepso
Yes.
yes,
that had voted on? Okay, thank you.
okay. On the fine issues, since Vicky is trying to talk to the commissioner on the fines, maybe we need to have to table that until she comes back of where the commissioner's feeling is on that matter, what we presented earlier. And with everything that's gone on in the last 100 days or whatever it's been, this has been down the pipe, but now as we start to get our feet back under us, Vicky, maybe you find out what you can tell us, and then next month we can address anything with fines. Does that sound like a plan that will work?
Yes, it does. I will just resurface the email that you had sent, making the request, and just follow up on that email.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Is that okay with everybody else? Shauna, John, Linda, Norris?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
that's the best action because, until we have an answer from her.
Okay, I agree. Okay, great. Linda, we have no schools and courses to go over?
No,
Okay.
we figured
I'm
we'd
gonna
make this
go into-
first meeting brief.
Yeah, okay. We will go then over into old business before new business here. And on top is Angela Haggerty's application. Now I turn this over to you, Jay. Do you unmute or however, if Angela is out there and so she can talk?
Yeah,
Or Lauren, whoever
Lauren
is
can give her
controlling.
Oh, I
ability
see
to
a lot
speak.
of talk. Yep. She should be okay.
Yeah, Angela, looks like you're
Angela
all set.
Haggerty.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Is this Angela?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, for the record, Angela, could you please give your name and address and therefore, or your business address, so, we're trying to do this as best we can to make things official, okay?
Sure. Angela Haggerty, 22 Windsor Road, East in North Haven. I'm also here with my supervisor, Frank Teodosio.
Thank you both for joining us under these unique circumstances. Linda Sepso, you
Yes.
have been guiding or encouraging or shepherding or what have you, so I'd like to turn this over to you, please.
Okay. I did get, I think everybody probably got an email from Angela that she had unfortunately sent an older appraisal up and in her class, but she's in returning stuff to us now for review. But she did send another appraisal with the explanation for it, and I reviewed that about a half an hour ago, and it's fine. She's really, from my view anyway, she's really come around and is including a lot of things, you know, is addressing things the way I typically tell everybody who's writing an appraisal is that the person reading it hasn't got a clue what you do for a living, so you have to explain everything. And she really has come around to doing that. So I have no problem with her.
Okay. I'm going to open this up to other commission members in a moment. I just want to make a quick comment, as I only vote if there's a tie. But I liked when you had in the Hamden report that the certain sentences in there that, well, 12 Winnett Street, you know, you didn't include it as a comparable, because even though the subject was on that street, it was a flip and there was some hair that went with it. So I think those extra sentence or two goes a long way, and applaud. So I open it up to any other questions from John or Norris or Shauna on Angela Haggerty's application or work product, so to speak.
I could go whenever you want.
Okay, you're good. Norris, any questions?
No, I'm
sorry, I didn't mean that, Shauna. Sorry.
Yeah. Now, I unfortunately have concerns, and I'm not sure if these are the most newest reports, but we have styles that are incorrect on these properties. I do think the verbiage is better. I didn't find that one comment about that comp that Jerry just mentioned. That was one of my questions. So if somebody can help me where that comment is on that report, that would be helpful. But if I go to, let's start with, let's see, which report is it? It's the 10 Hamel Drive.
That is the one I sent in by accident. And I'm sorry. I actually when I was able to send out everybody out an email, it was let them know that that was a hopefully mistake. Please just disregard, because that was a mistake. That was something that I sent to Linda that we went through line by line with together late in January. So that was just a flat out mistake. It was a mistake to send 10 Hamel. So just to let you know.
Well, it would have been nice before yesterday that I spent the time going through this, because obviously the styles are wrong.
I apologize. Yes, Linda and I had gone through it extensively, and again, that was in the beginning of this year, and I apologize. I made a complete mistake. I didn't even realize when I forwarded it that it was attached incorrectly. So I apologize for that.
This is Jerry Rasmussen speaking. Is this the Winstead, Connecticut property?
Yes, that one was the one that I attached by accident.
Okay.
The 34 Winnett in Hamden, Shauna, the comment on the bottom about the Rio is in the addendum, and it just says 12 Winnett Street in Hamden was not included as a comparable because the property was mentioned as a flipped Rio, and so just to let you know, going back to the Hamden one.
So what page is that on in your report?
That looks like it's a supplemental addendum. It's right after Comp 456 page.
Yeah,
and it's right before, it's right under note where I said that I stated I used.
Oh yeah, I do see that now. I actually searched for that.
Yeah.
As is. I didn't see that on the record, but and then I guess I have another question. You have comparing these two reports. I was looking at one of your adjustments for the garage. So how did you come up with the garage adjustment?
Which report is that for, Shauna?
Well, if you compare the two of them, one of them says 5,000 and one says 3,500. One is an attached garage and one is a built-in garage. The built-in garage is getting more worth, but again, it goes back to that bad report. So, I mean, since I don't have the, I guess, the correct 10 Hamel, I don't know, that question's relative because I don't have the
Oh,
right
no,
report.
10 Hamel was a complete mistake.
Please disregard
If you could just please disregard that, I apologize about sending that one.
Because we did, Angela and I spent quite a long time going over a couple of the reports that we were concerned about explaining things. And there's a vast difference in what she wrote in January that we saw and in what she's written recently.
Okay. So there is a difference of adjustment on the two of these for garages. Is that just a mistake, or
For 10,
was that supposed to be like that?
Are we still on 10 Hamel? We're not.
I'm comparing the two. How do you come up with your adjustment for your garages? Let's start with that.
for 34 Winnett for Hamden.
Sure.
But normally for garages, what I like to do is I like to see exactly what, as far as attached, and when I'm looking at also detached and also built in around the area. And I look at just the comparable sales of what in the area, what it's going for with those types of garages that are being, that are attached or detached or built in.
Yeah, because you have a garage detached 3,500 and a garage attached for 3,500.
Yeah. So in that I noticed that in Hamden that they were relative. So they were typical.
And then when and I know again, I go back to this other report, you have 5,000 in Winstead, which
And again, Winstead was.
Please disregard Winstead.
It was in the beginning of the year, and again, Linda and I had gone through it extensively, and I really tried to correct and tighten up a lot of the things that I've done incorrectly.
All right. Well, I guess I agree that you have got, these reports are much better than the first ones I saw, but without seeing a corrected version of 10 Hamel, I just can't move. I can't support going forward at this point.
Well,
if I would have got a new copy, then that would have been fine, but I only have
Angela, you didn't redo 10 Hamel, did you?
I did not, no. They didn't
No,
ask for any
there is no
revision.
new report of 10 Hamel. That was one of the original reports we sent in. We worked together. She sent in new reports, and that's what we should have been looking at, is the new reports to see if there's improvement.
Right. Well, I was supposed to get two. I only got one. I only have the one now to compare to. So that's just my opinion.
Okay.
John and Norris, any thoughts or comments? Questions, more importantly?
Shauna, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Why don't you look over the report real quick?
I did. I don't have a
new report.
There was a new one that was sent out yesterday.
I don't have it. Where did it go? Where was it mailed to? I don't have it, so.
It was mailed to each one of us, and I think it was, Linda, was that sent out yesterday as a new report from Angela?
The multi.
I think it was sent out. I got it this morning.
Okay, today.
If somebody wants to send it to me,
I'm gonna
I'll
forward it
review
to you
and
right-
I can come back. But
I'm going to forward it to you right now, Shauna.
to my work email or to my personal email?
Your work email.
Okay.
Is that all right, or you want the other
Yeah,
one?
no, that's fine, as long as it comes.
Okay, I just sent
sometimes
it.
my work.
Angela, while we're waiting here, just remind me, where is your the office that you're working out of?
I work out of my home, Hamden, and then I'm under
Okay.
Frank that lives in Orange.
Yeah, and Frank, you have your main office up in Mass, or you have a satellite office in Connecticut?
No, my main office is in Orange, Connecticut.
Okay. I guess when I saw when I was reviewing the work, I thought you had like an office or firm, with your name out of Massachusetts.
Oh.
Maybe I'm in the error there.
I work for Appraisals Unlimited as a contractor in Connecticut for them. They're located in Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yeah, but that AMC preferably prefers us putting their information down as a contact information.
Okay. Yeah, it's the way how the world goes sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, well, the
It's,
report just came in. It's gonna take me a little bit to look at it. I don't know if you want to come back to her and go to the next person, and then we'll come back.
Okay, we could do that. Okay, Angela and Frank, please hang with us a little bit longer, okay? And then we'll come back to you here and then try to wrap this up one way or the other. Okay, I ask for your indulgence as we go through this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jay, can we go now with, if we can move here a little bit to Jeffrey Fisher? Is Mr. Fisher on the line? And if so, can we unmute his microphone?
I am here with Mike Massa. Can you guys hear me?
Is this Jeffrey?
Yes.
Yes. For the
Right.
record, Jeffrey, could you, okay, great. Jeffrey, could you give us your name and business address for the record, please?
It's Jeffrey J. Fisher. 60 Katona Drive, Fairfield, Connecticut.
Okay. Thank you for being with us and working with us here.
Hi, this is Vicky. Can I ask that he spell his last name for the record?
Before he spells his name, just one quick request that everyone who's not speaking, just please mute yourself. It makes it easier for everyone to hear. Anyone who's on the phone, you can mute yourself with *6 and unmute with *6. You need to talk.
Okay, following up on Vicky's, the sponsor, could you give us your name and your address as well, please? Jeffrey, sponsor?
Michael Massa.
And your work address, sir?
60 Katona Drive, Fairfield, Connecticut, 06824.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Fellow commission members, have you taken a look at Mr. Fisher's work? Is there any questions or thoughts?
Okay. See, I just looked at the reports and they were basically good. I just found that there's things missing, like there were almost across the board on all the reports that you sent in, there were different site sizes, and there was very little data. There were like no adjustments made. Very rarely was a site adjustment made, but yet sometimes the site sizes were 6,000 square feet larger than the subject, and there was no comment either. I only found a comment on one appraisal. So I'm just concerned about that. I mean, it's not a big deal, but there's no explanation. And as I said before, in my view, the appraisal's not done until everything is explained. So is there a reasoning? Is that just a company policy? What's the deal on that?
Do you know which appraisal that was from?
Yep, hold on. It's 42 Huckleberry.
Well, for the site sizes I adjusted number 1 down. Number 2 got adjusted up.
Is there an explanation of what you did and how you figured it out?
Yeah, it's in the comment section. Let's see.
All right, let me see if I can find the report.
I guess significant site sizes over half acre were adjusted at $10,000 per acre to reflect market reaction of larger sites with more recreational area and privacy.
Okay, grab one of the other reports that you sent in and look if you have the same data on that one.
Was it one from Stanford, maybe?
I'm trying to call them up all now to see, but whatever ones that you have, just look at them and see if you've explained it. Because that was the only thing I had. There has to be consistency. And there needs to be explanation because you leave yourself way open to all kinds of problems if you don't. And that's what I was not, I was concerned about that. It wasn't consistent.
For the Stanford one, which is 171 High Clear Drive.
Yeah.
I had adjustment up for sale number 2. And sale number 2 on that one. And again, there we have significant site sizes over a quarter acre. We're just at 30,000 per acre to reflect market reaction to larger sites with more recreational area and privacy based on analysis of sales and land sales.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me look up. I have Huckleberry here now. Let me open it up. And what's the other one in Stanford? Which one was it?
That was 171 High Clear.
Okay.
Jeff and Michael, can you both just spell your last name for the record? It's required for us. So if you could do that while she's looking that up, that would be great.
Sure. It's Fisher, Fischer.
And you wanted me also, Linda?
Yeah, please, Michael.
It's Michael Massa, Massa.
Thanks. And is Susan there?
She's here. She's in the other room. Do you want her?
No, Lauren, can you unmute Susan?
Okay.
Susan Marra?
She just popped her head into my office to see if we need her.
Oh, okay.
Here.
She can hear you, but you can't hear her.
Right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Yes.
So Susan, can you just spell your last name for the record?
Marra, M-A-R-R-A.
Thank you. And Susan is Jeff's other sponsor.
And Jerry, since while Linda's looking it up, I did look at Jeff's reports. I thought they were pretty good, so I really have no questions, just so you know.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Shauna. As Linda is looking that up,
Yeah.
Jeffrey, I have a quick question. In the Brookfield report, I noticed when you said that, you know, what credit you were giving, and I don't have it in front of me, but you were doing, I have notes here that you did help with the inspection, you did some, you know, research and so forth, but I never saw the word any analysis as part of that, given the credit to you. Are these reports that we are all reviewing representative of your work, and you're doing 95%, 90%, 80%, 100%? What is this? Tell me what your total involvement was on these reports submitted.
It was mostly, you know, I did obviously the research, analysis, inspections, photographs, researching the comparables, and writing the report prior to either Mike or Sue's review.
Okay. So this is a fair representation of your work product.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Well, Linda, are you still researching what you need to research?
I looked up the Stanford one, and I did find, I didn't see it before, but I did find the explanation of what he was using as his guide for making the site adjustment. So that's okay. Let me just double check this. The other one.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'll ask if John or Norris has any questions. Take your time, Linda, while you're going through that.
Okay.
John
No, I'm good.
or Norris?
Gary, I'm good.
Okay, Norris is okay.
John says he's good.
Okay, great. Okay, Linda, the floor is back to you.
Okay, no, I found in the comments, I did find a comment explaining what he was using for the, when I was looking at the grid, it's just for, he's allowing for much larger adjustments, differences in site size, I think, you know. For instance, on Huckleberry Hill Road, the site has 40,000 square feet. There's an adjustment of 20,000 square feet. To me, that needs an adjustment. It's half the size, but that's what he's using as his guideline. If it's half the size, then only anything above half the size gets an adjustment. So that's a little, I don't know. I just thought it was a lot because that's a pretty big piece of land extra. But I mean, everything else seemed to be fine. I didn't have any problems with any of the other parts of the report at all. I was just concerned about that because especially when I saw that one, I went like, wait a minute. It's half the size. Typically, we would make some kind of adjustment because obviously somebody's going to pay a lot more for 40,000 square feet than they are for 20,000 square feet.
Jeffrey, maybe that is something to take consideration as you
Absolutely.
move forward in your career.
I will definitely do that. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't want to cut anyone out. Are there any other questions for Mr. Fisher?
I'll make the
Hearing
motion to
none.
approve. I'll make the motion to approve him.
Okay. We have Shauna as a motion to approve Mr. Fisher. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second by Norris for the record. Any other questions? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. We will go through Shauna,
Aye.
John,
John says aye.
has he okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Linda,
Aye.
Norris,
Aye.
congratulations, Mr. Fisher. And Linda will be following up with you for the next steps, either after this meeting or tomorrow, whatever the process is. Linda Roptai, would you like to step in here to give a little guidance for a moment? And then you two can go through the details later.
Yeah, Jeff, you'll be, so we'll set you up. We'll let PSI know that you are approved to take the test whenever you're ready to take it. Probably the beginning of next week, they'll be notified that you're approved. And just so you know, PSI has been closed through all this. They are back open.
Oh, good.
But they closed down again one of the facilities because they had a potential COVID case. So they had to re-clean everything. But they are definitely behind because they've had 3 months of people already approved to take exams. So they are running, a little behind schedule. So, and I think their offices in Vegas which is their headquarters, have now finally reopened also, which had been closed. So it may take a little bit of time to get an appointment scheduled, just so you know.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and good luck.
Thank you, folks.
Good luck. Take care.
And nothing but the very best.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Okay. Thank you. Jay or Lauren, can you put them on mute? And if we could bring Angela Haggerty back up on the air. Angela, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, thank you for taking, for the pause there. We appreciate your indulgence.
Okay.
Shauna, we left it off that you were taking a look at some things, so the floor is yours.
Okay, thanks. I do have a question going back to, what one is it? 34 Winnet
God, man.
You
Congratulations.
stated that you used 1,200 square feet of living. Why did you confine yourself to such a short range below the home when there were quite a few houses for sale under, because you didn't bracket the, right? Oh, you did bracket. I do see that. You did bracket, but there were quite a few. I don't know why you used 1,200. Oh, come on.
Well, I'm sorry, where is the 1,200?
It's on,
You're referring to?
it's on page 3 of 6 of the report. It's right after the grid page on the top.
Shawna, what's the report you're looking at?
Win it.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
34 Winnet.
1,200, where am I looking at?
I don't know, I don't know what you're saying.
You said
The
page-
search parameters, is that what you're asking for? Or-
It says the appraiser comparable search parameters began with an MLS and commercial record search for single-family homes sold within the prior 3 months located within a half a mile from the subject property.
Right.
Built between 1890 to 1940 and containing 1,200 to 2,200 square feet of living area. Due to the limited comparable sales, the appraiser extended the search beyond 12 months. That's the comment I'm asking a question about.
Are you asking why I didn't go maybe lower than 1,200 or?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's plenty of homes below, and you may be missing some of the market there.
Yes, probably. But I wanted to stay as close as I possibly could to, it's 1396 was the gross living area of the subject. I was trying to stay as close as I possibly could.
Well, your second comp is 1648. Certainly comp 1 and 3 are close.
I probably was a little too, conservative with that.
I think you're not taking the wide enough picture, in my opinion. And then I have just one more comment on the new one that you sent me. And it's just a spelling error, but you spelled assessor wrong.
Okay.
And being an assessor,
I
noticed that right away.
Of course. Yeah. It was definitely a miss on my part, and I apologize about that.
I have no further
Okay, any other questions, Shauna?
No.
Okay. John, maybe during this time you may have had a follow-up question or two. If you could let the team know, I guess, however they're letting you know, or however you're letting them know. And Norris, any questions?
John says he has no further questions.
Okay.
I'm
Norris?
good. I'm good.
Okay. All right. Can I hear a motion for Angela Haggerty's application?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor by Linda, a motion to approve for Angela Haggerty. Can I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, I hear Norris with a second. Okay, any other questions?
I'll just make a comment. I'll just make a comment that I still think, even though these are better, I still think there's room to grow, and I don't know. They're definitely a lot better though.
Okay. All right, if any other questions? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call vote. Linda?
Yes.
Okay, Norris?
Aye.
Shauna?
I say nay, and John has sent the aye.
So we have, okay, so Linda a yes, Norris a yes, John a yes, and Shauna a no. Is that correct by all parties?
Yes.
Yep, that's right.
Okay. All right then. Congratulations, Ms. Haggerty. I know it's been quite a process, and but I think you will be a heck of a lot better appraiser down the road, you know, going through all this here.
Yes.
Please take the comments that have come through this ordeal for you in the spirit that it's meant to try to, you know, help you as a professional and also to help the consumers in the state of Connecticut, you know, down the road. I will now turn this over to Linda Robitaille for, Linda, what direction or the next steps for Angela?
Hear me talking to Jeff?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so same thing applies.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate
All
everybody's.
righty.
Okay.
Good luck,
Good luck.
Angela.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
There, nothing but the best.
Thank you
Okay,
very much.
Chair.
thank you. Jay and Lauren, thank you very much. Boy, kind of holding us together. You can take Angela off mute, and the next one on our agenda would be a Catherine Martini. Is Ms. Martini out there and never out there on the airwaves here?
Not exactly Never Land.
Yeah, I had to catch myself.
Unmute. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
I can.
Yes.
Great. Good afternoon, and thank you for working with us through this unusual times, and we're trying to make it work here. So, Catherine, you have submitted your work product and to the commission, and they have reviewed. And as you've been probably listening from Ms. Haggerty and Mr. Fisher, you're going to get an idea of what's ahead here, and we'll limit to 20 minutes. So I open it up to fellow commissioners, any questions that we have for Ms. Martini in her appraisal log and sample approval and so forth. So just go ahead, the floor is open.
Before anyone starts, Catherine, can you just spell your last name for the record and state your address? And is your sponsor with you?
Hi, yes, Catherine Martini, M-A-R-T-I-N-I. I'm here with Steve Hodson, he's on the phone, Al Mulatto. If you want the address, here is 6515 Main Street in Trumbull.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you, and thank you, Linda, for helping me on that. Are there any questions for Ms. Martini's, or what do we have here? We're seeking log approval and sample approval. Linda Robitaille?
First we need your sponsor, Stevens. Can you spell your last name? Are you there, Catherine?
Hello, Stephen or Catherine? Did we
Sure,
lose them?
it's Hodson, H-O-D as in David, S-O.
Steve's here with me. Can you hear us?
Yeah, now we can.
Hi, can you hear us?
Sorry, I spell again. Name Hodson, H-O-D-S-O-N.
That's it.
Did you get that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, Linda, can you give us Linda Robitaille, a quick overview of what we need to? I see that I printed out a number of certificates of completions of coursework. I see a lot of an application.
I had forwarded you everything because it had the log. You guys had some questions about her log at the last meeting, so you didn't approve it. So you need to, whatever questions you have, so hopefully she can answer them. You can approve the logs, and then we can go to the samples.
Okay.
Does anybody have the
It's
minutes of the
open to
last
the-
meeting what were the questions we asked?
It was back in March. I think it was something to do with the number of hours.
Oh, yes, a lot of them had like 25 or 30 hours for a single family home. Yeah, I
Right.
that now.
Yeah.
It seemed, I mean, you would expect that the first couple of months, but beyond that, it was still taking a very long time. So there was some concern about it. But I noticed that she does have about 6 different supervisors, so. And were all of them logged in as supervisors? Remember we had that problem before where different people were acting as supervisors, but only one had been listed with the state.
Yeah, we had all of the older
great.
ones that she had when she first started listed.
I have only one problem right now because I didn't know, I did read all the reports, but I didn't know how to handle this. Not a single report she sent in is signed by either herself or her supervisor. Nothing.
Who signed them?
Nobody. They're blank.
Oh.
So that,
Okay,
I mean, I
Linda,
kept going, but that made me pause.
Linda Sepso,
Yeah.
you have a lot
Hi,
of the questions.
Can I speak?
Pardon?
Please. Go ahead, Catherine. Catherine, the floor is yours. Catherine, can you hear us?
It seems like she's having connection issues. They're kind of going in and out.
Oh.
Okay.
I think I sent them for my version.
Linda Sepso, when she comes back, do you have, you may want a specific question.
They may not have been signed because I sent them directly from my, am I unmuted?
You're there. Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead, Catherine. We can hear you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I sent the reports directly from my desktop, but I'm happy to resend them with a signature. I didn't know that was.
Susan, or Catherine, rather, the policy would be for that.
Can you hear me?
If you're, first of all, the policy would be for that. If you're sending something to your supervisor to be signed, you should have signed it. If it's in the case where they're putting in a statement, that's fine. But if the report goes to your supervisor and he's the only one that has signed it, he needs to send it back to you because the law requires that you have the completed and signed report in your work file.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought that some of them were signed or they were all signed, but I didn't realize, I wasn't even thinking of that when I sent the work sample. They're all signed for sure, and they're all submitted. I'm happy to resend the same reports with the signatures. And I'm sorry, I wish I had known that beforehand. I would have resent them like 3 months.
Okay, it's part of the law module, so you should have had it at some point, but yeah, a report is not considered a report unless it's signed. It has no value until there's a signature on it.
Okay, I can send all 7 reports again.
Well, I mean, I did look through them.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary to send these reports.
Do we want to, are there any questions? Linda, let me start here. Linda Sepso, with the log. You were the one who raised the questions before. Did you get were you satisfied with the answers that you received from Catherine on those?
It looked like we got parts of logs because there's several different supervisors. So,
no, I should have submitted.
It came to me in sections. Maybe that's how you had to send it because it was so long. So it came to me in sections. And there
Okay,
were
yes, I did. I'm sorry.
different people as supervisors. But she had
Right.
the right number of hours. She had over the 2,500 without a problem.
Okay, yes. I've worked with 4 supervisors, but the main 2 were Al and Steve. Steve I worked with for 4 years. Al I've worked with for 2 years, but most of my hours are with the 2 that are, I've worked with the most.
Right. So you did get the 2,500 hours in. There still seems to be, I wasn't sure what pages we were looking at. If it was the end of it, because I had pages that said 2016, other pages said 2017. So I didn't see anything that was like, 2019, 2020. They could have been there, but I might have missed it going through it. So who were your main supervisors in 2019 and 2020?
Hi, Steve Hodson and Al Mulatto.
Okay. The only thing I found that is always my concern is there's not enough explanation. You had things like on, let's see, 11 Cameo. There were amenities. There was a deck that was 364 square feet. The next comp had an enclosed porch, a closed porch at 514 square feet. And regardless of what they were, there's no adjustment for them. No explanation of why you wouldn't make an adjustment for the difference between a deck and an enclosed porch. So to me, that's just confusing and it's misleading because you have the information. So you need to include that information and then explain. Sometimes there's no adjustment needed. That's fine, but you have to state that there's no adjustment needed.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we can.
Yes. So I'm looking at the report. I see the subject property at a deck of 364. You're right. The enclosed porch, I did not make an adjustment. I didn't think it was significantly different in terms of its utility, but the larger patio and deck of comps 2 and 3, I did make some adjustments. I do think that's a good point. I probably should have clarified more in my comments.
If something is different, and you're not making adjustment, it's misleading. You just need to say, in your opinion, comp 1 does not need to be adjusted because of the utility or whatever it is of the property that you're looking at. The size of it is typical. Anything, but you have to explain it because otherwise it's a question mark. But that's something that pretty much everybody does when they're doing appraisals. But I will say, Steve, I would have thought you'd bring it up to her.
Yeah, the
Other
porch.
than that, I thought that the reports were fine.
Patio categories very broad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So other than the unsigned reports, I didn't really find, anything. The only other thing that was an issue, because I think this was, and I didn't get a chance to look back at the actual date, but on one report, and I don't even remember which one it was now. You had highest and best use was just a checkbox, and this report was in 2019. So there should have been an explanation at that point. We would have passed the whole thing about you have to make a comment on highest and best use. I didn't see one in the report. But again, that's, you probably just took the course in April and this appraisal was in in May, so maybe it just didn't get through yet. But otherwise, the reports were decent. I think they're typical of the type of people who are coming in and getting their applying for their license. I didn't see any, other than what concerned me was the lack of signature. I didn't see anything else that was like slapping me in the face and being a consistent problem. Okay.
Okay.
Anybody else got any comments?
So I'll say that being her first time around, I thought they were very good reports. And rarely say that, so I congratulate her on how well of a job she did for being the first time through. I thought they were done very well.
Oh, thank you.
John
Thanks.
and Norris, any comments, questions?
No comment.
Okay. And John was
I'll make
probably,
the motion to
Shauna,
approve. I'll make the
one
motion
more,
to approve.
before we do that, we're going to need, Catherine, you to send the reports to the state with signatures on them, because our work gets audited as well. So we need to make sure T's are crossed and I's are dotted, okay?
Okay, sure. I'm happy to do that. Thanks.
Okay,
Okay, so
now,
I'll amend the
can I
motion
hear
to
a
say, I'll make the motion to approve her once Linda receives her signed copies.
okay, pending receipt, Shauna?
Yep, sure.
Okay. Can I hear a second?
Hey, Linda.
Second.
Okay, we have Norris, Shauna, a motion, Norris, a second. Any other questions, comments, edits? Hearing none, we'll go to roll call.
Jerry, I do have a quick
Yeah.
question. Does
Yeah.
that motion include the approval of the logs?
Sure, I can make that.
Okay, why don't we back up a little bit a second? Why don't we do the log first and then the experience, okay? In that order, as we've done over the years. Shauna, would you like to make the motion for approving the log?
Sure, I'll make the motion that we approve her log.
Okay, can I have a second on the log?
I'll second it.
We have a second on that. Any comments on the log? Hearing none, we'll roll call. Shauna?
Aye.
Norris?
Aye.
Linda?
John says aye.
And I'll-
John says aye.
Okay, great. Then that motion passes for acceptance of Catherine Martini's log. Now a second on her experience. Shauna, do you want to make that motion now?
I'll make the
subject
motion to approve her samples and that let her pass through once pending receiving her signed reports.
Okay. A second of that motion?
Second.
Norris has seconded. Any comments, edits, questions? Hearing none, we will now go to a roll call. Is John got any comments? I didn't want to cut him short.
No, he hasn't said.
Okay.
Nope, he has none.
All right. Fair enough. Okay, then we'll do roll call. Shauna?
Aye.
Norris?
Yes.
Linda? Linda, I didn't. Okay. John?
John says aye.
Okay. Then we have, congratulations, Ms. Martini. You've gotten through this. Now, Linda Roca, I hand this back over to you to give some direction to Ms. Martini.
Kathy, you heard what I was saying to everyone else, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, the same thing will hold true. You know, I would say sometime next week, give them a call or whenever you're ready after that to sit for the exam.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so
All
much.
righty, good luck.
Okay.
Thank you. Nothing but the best.
Bye.
Okay. Thank you. All right. That takes care of our old business and legal and school. So now we're into new business, the last thing that I see on the agenda. And we have a Carrie Tatro, a former RSP, looking to reinstate provisional license. So Jay or Lauren, who's ever at the controls, if Ms. Tatro is out there to open up her mic.
Hello.
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 Is this Carrie Tatro?
Yes, it is.
For the record, could you please give us your name and business address?
Carrie, C-A-R-R-I-E, Tatro, T-E-T-R-E-A-U-L-T, business address 7 Dogwood Lane, Wallingford, Connecticut, 06492.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Linda Robitaille, do you want to give a quick overview so all commission members are brought current to the question on the floor?
Sure. Carrie was a former, is a former provisional appraiser. She originally got her license in November of 2010, and she had it in through 2012. She let it lapse for various reasons. She reinstated it in 2014, and she held it to 2016. She's now looking to go back and get it again to continue to upgrade to certified. She knows she has to retake the 75 hours in the law course per the new regulations. Her question is, any of her previous courses and experience, can she use any of that going forward? So, and I will let her explain exactly what she's got completed and when it was done.
Thank you.
Yes. As Linda said, I had all of the courses that I took. I did previously take the 75 hours, but I understand I have to retake that. I did have most of my hours done, 99% of them. I do have my log, but I don't know if that would go forward. Obviously, those hours were during my time period of my provisional license. So that dates back to expiring in April of 2016. My last courses I took and my last USPAP I took was 2013 and 2014. So I just need to know what and where I can go from here to try and get back and get certified.
Okay, I have a question. How many actual years was she provisional?
She was a provisional 3.5 years.
So she has only 2.5 years left to finish. How much, what's her log look like? How many hours?
Linda, may I jump in here? Linda,
Yeah.
I'm following up on your question. Linda Robitaille, I thought you said that she was licensed from 2010 to 2012, and then 2012 to 2016.
It was November. It was November of 2010.
Okay.
So that's where I came up with that 2.5 years. And then 2014 to 2016 is another 2 years.
Okay, I wrote that down. So it was 2014 to 2016. It wasn't 2012 again to 2016.
Yeah, so it was 2010 to 2012, and then 2014 to 2016.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, Linda Sepso, to jump in on you. Go ahead.
No. And how many hours does she have totally? Do we know?
Harry, do you know how many hours you have total as far as?
I have to log them all. I haven't looked at it. It's on my supervisor's computer, and I do have it on my computer, which is currently being serviced. So I couldn't get it for this meeting, but I do know. Go ahead.
Who is your supervisor now?
Arthur Greenlaw.
Who is your supervisor now?
Arthur Greenlaw.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Sorry.
My concern is this: we have a maximum of 6 years. Yes.
Without an extension, yes.
Okay, so, and without having, without knowing the volume that she's already done for her log, it's a little hard to understand if she could actually get the rest of it done.
I believe that when I had looked at it, I believe I have 100% of my hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, the question is if you're going to count all of those back hours.
Yes, that was my.
Linda Robitaille and Vicki, this is Jerry with a question. Ms. Tatro has said that she is going to now go back and I guess you have to take the USPAP class again.
Yes.
And to get the 75 hours, the, you know, what I call the principles and procedures
Right.
course. Am I correct with that?
Correct. She
Okay.
has to take those. And then whatever other courses that she needs to complete for the 200 hours.
Okay. So my question is this, and I need from the legal side and following up for what Linda Sepso has said here, there's a short time frame. Does she have to, outside of those courses, are there other courses she's going to have to take to meet the course requirements of the standards of today?
That's a good question because there are some changes in the required courses since 2010.
Right. She would have to have the required 200 hours of coursework.
Based on this
So
year, is it based on this year's list of what the courses would be? Okay.
Correct. Yeah, she has to meet whatever requirements are in place when she goes to upgrade.
Okay.
And Linda Robitaille, correct me if I'm wrong, and Vicky, there is no provision under the, out of the, as I call the feds or out of Washington, saying that courses that she took in the, historically could be looked at, analyzed, and tried to fit into the matrix that Linda Sepso is referring to here to see what credits that we have in that range, what can be used and not, because there's no grandfather clause other than USPAP. You can only go back so far. Am I correct on that?
Right. Any course, you know, if she took statistics or if she took report writing, you know, in 2010 or 2012, if it's USPAP compliant, if it was AQB approved at that time, then we will accept it.
Okay.
Just the base, the three that she needs to be provisional have to be within the last 5 years.
Ms. Tatro, do you know how many classes or courses or hours on the education side, I'm just focusing on the education right this moment, that you need, or do you feel you've met or you have enough? Where do you stand in that arena?
I just signed up for, after talking to Linda, I thought I needed the 75, which is what I'm doing right now. I don't know what else I need. That's why I attended this meeting. I wasn't sure what else I would need going forward.
Have you taken any of the other pre-licensing courses in the past? The 125 hours of the additional pre-licensing?
Yes.
How many of them have you taken?
You mean previously?
Yeah.
I did, I have them right here. Back in, way back in 2010, I did the, let's see, 15, 30. I did the 75 hours back in 2010.
Okay, all right, those don't count.
That's what I'm
anything else?
I did, and then I did again to re-up my provisional. I did further courses. That was back in 2012 and 2013, like continuing ed courses. Is that what you're referencing?
Oh, they have to be qualified.
No, they're pre-licensing courses. They're all 15 or 30 hours with the exam.
Oh, with the exam, but that's when I first did them back. I did that, the 30-hour one.
Right, but there's 125 more hours.
Oh, okay. No, I don't believe I did that.
Okay, so she would have to do all of them.
Okay.
Right. I mean, that's a lot to get through in 2.5 years. You know, that's 125 hours of class time plus the required work. So
my logs that
I'm
I've
not
done.
objecting to it. I'm just kind of thinking it's an awesome task.
Yes.
And how dedicated are you to completing it this time since you started left? Is it?
That was I had kids, which is what
gotcha.
played into that. I was in
Okay.
having children, and then I tried to do it, and then I had a second child, and that's what happened. That's where you're seeing
It
the
really
lapse.
only works when your kids are in school.
Yes, yes. So both of my kids, I have a middle schooler and another one that's now in elementary school. So would my log hours?
Her main question is how many of the hours that she took would count?
We'd
You
have
know,
to,
if she had 2,000 hours already of experience, how much of that are you going to count? How much new do you want to see?
I think, this is Jerry here, in my opinion, I think we ought to send over what log she has now and have Shauna and Linda take a look at it here. So then we have an idea, the volume and depth that we have here, and therefore we could give a more accurate answer to help give guidance. I think at this point in time, we're a little bit blinded a little bit here. Send over what you got. Let's take a look and see what we can do to help her.
Okay.
The other thing too is if she could send us the list of the courses that she took. And
Sure.
when she took them, because some courses that you needed to take, in 2010 and 11, they're like combined courses instead now. So, like market analysis and something else is put together, and we want to make sure that she's getting the most recent information if there's been a change.
All right, so Carrie, if you could email me a copy of your log.
Okay.
And a list of the courses and when you took them, that would, and I can forward them to Linda and Shauna and John, and they can take a look.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All righty.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Carrie, let's see what we can do to try to help you out, okay, and give you some guidance.
All right, thank you, I appreciate it.
Have a good day. Thank you.
You too.
Okay, I think we've covered everything on the agenda, but I open it up. Are there any other comments or concerns or other issues that we would like to try to at least entertain or set up for next month? Okay, not hearing of any. I wanted to say,
if any attendees want to speak, just raise your hand. Anyone who's on the phone, you can hit *9 to raise your hand. But it looks like the only person who's still there is listed as CAAO Executive Board.
That's me.
Oh, that's Shauna.
okay.
Jay Cohen is still there, but I think it's because Mike Massa didn't close it when he got up out of his chair.
Well, this has been a unique experience. I want to officially thank Lauren and Jay trying to keep us in the fairway. You've done quite a job because a few of us have had technological challenges and we've tried to do the best that we can. And I want to thank you for helping us all that. Linda Otai for everything that you're doing, and my fellow commission members, thank you for hanging in there, and we're all trying to do the right thing and doing what we can. So I would like, before we entertain a motion to adjourn, just want to say a big thank you to everybody, not only from what we've been going through recently, but all the years that everyone has put in the dedication of time. A year from now, we will be having our friendly folks from the feds come up and doing their audit, and so we'll see whatever comes from there, but we're trying to be consistent and everything. And Vicki, I know you've been behind the scenes on the legal side, working as much as you can, so we thank you very much for that guidance. So that being said, this has been a new experience for all of us, trying to do our meetings here. So whenever, I look forward to when we can get together and see each other in person. But that being said, can I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll move.
Second.
Linda? There was a second. Was that you, Shauna?
Shauna.
Yeah, okay. Comments, edits? All right, vote. Linda?
Yeah, aye.
Shauna?
Aye.
Norris?
Aye.
And John, he's probably sending it through you, Shauna.
I haven't seen it, but I'm sure it's an aye.
Okay, thank you.
There it
Be
is.
well,
Aye.
everybody. All right.
All right.
Be safe.
All right.
Thank you.
Lauren,
Bye,
can you
guys.
just stick on for a minute, Lauren?
Sure.
Okay.
Just want to stop
And
the
thank you again,
recording.
Jay and
We're
Lauren.
done. You're welcome.
This
Thank
was
you.
great. Come December and January, I wouldn't mind doing these instead of trudging through the snow.
I don't know about that, but we'll see.
All right, take it easy. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Jay, do you need me on?
No, you can go. Thanks so much.
Okay, thanks.
All right, I'm stopping the recording.
All right,
Do
perfect.
you want to stop? Yes, I want to stop it. An email